I don't know how else to say this other than to just, kind of show you.
Is that really an engagement ring, Brandan? Because it looks like you got it out of a gumball machine. I know you were saying times were tough and money was tight, but from the look on Mary's face, she's not happy.
Will you marry me, Mary?
Someone needs to add this to one of those proposal fails compilation videos on YouTube, because this is a disaster. Now, before we get to Mary's answer, let's just rewind back to the beginning. So we left the pair, revealing the news that Mary's pregnant. They haven't figured out their financial situation, they haven't got married, and Mary's grandparents still think that she's abiding by their no sex before marriage rule.
It's been 2 weeks now since we found out that Mary's pregnant. Even though we were trying to make a baby, I still have anxiety, like, how am I gonna take care of this kid?
Yeah, it's a fair anxiety to have, Brandan. You should be worried. How are you two gonna raise another life? But you've made your bed now, you planned for this child. So now you're just gonna have to deal with it. You're gonna have to step up to the plate. But let me just say, that doesn't involve doing this. This isn't the makings of a good father.
Most of the time, I wake up, eat breakfast, and then I attempt to clear my head, usually just relaxing on the phone, playing video games or something like that.
So Mary's pregnant and up and about cleaning the house, doing the dishes, but Brandan, instead of going and looking for a way to earn money, looking for a job, just lies in bed glued to his phone. So is that the type of father he intends to be, or could this be a sign of a more serious problem? Could it perhaps be a sign of depression? After all, spending excessive time in bed and having a decreased interest in doing anything could be a sign of that. But his behaviour is starting to bug Mary. In fact, she reveals that she's seen a huge change in his behaviour since she found out she was pregnant.
I'm always doing all the chores, and he will wake up for 12 or 1. Playing games all the time. Look,
the truth is, Brandan was an active, probably an enthusiastic participant in making that baby. But now, he's tapping out. So instead of playing games on his phone, what else could he be doing? How else could he be spending his days? Well, it turns out there is something they're hoping might help them out of the financial situation they find themselves in.
2 months ago, we opened up a shop in front of our house. It is a grocery store, snacks.
So the grocery store was Mary's idea. She says that her grandma also ran a very similar kind of store when she was younger. And these kind of stores are quite common in Asian countries. But the question is, seeing as these two have no money, who's paid for all of this?
I did borrow money from my friends to build the shop and buy all of the products. So it's a lot pressure for me and Brandan now.
Okay, so Mary seems to have stood firm on her decision not to ask her granddad for money. She instead asked her friends. But that then leads to the next question, how much does she owe them? What's her debt? Because whilst it's not a seashell necklace business that they were previously debating, by the sounds of things, it's not much better. The store isn't quite the moneymaker either of them was hoping it would be.
So this costs 470 pesos?
Yeah.
How much do you think we could sell it all for?
Maybe 500.
Do you think we could charge more?
Yeah, they haven't really thought this through. They're buying their stock from the local supermarket and selling it for roughly the same price at their own store. There's very little profit margin here. Certainly not enough to warrant it being a full-time job. They can't exactly raise the price of snacks because these kinds of snack stands are a dime a dozen. So with their profits sitting at about 56 cents, it's obvious that their lack of business expertise, their lack of planning, now means that they're about to start this new chapter of their lives, not only in debt, but also under a lot of stress.
It's so hard because we didn't really make a profit out of it, and then Brandan doesn't help at the store much. I really hate that.
Now, not to make excuses for him, but with a baby on the way, Brandan should be helping out as much as he can. But he's also limited by a language barrier. It's not the easiest task expecting him to run a local snack stand catering to local people when he can't speak the local language. So they need to figure out an alternative fast, because as things stand, they're earning roughly $18 a month, which means their debt is just piling up.
And you know, like, how much debt we're in?
It's like 60,000 pesos for the store and the product supplies.
So what do we do?
Everything seems to be on Mary at the moment. She's growing a baby, she's cooking for Brandan, she's cleaning the house, she's running the store, and she's also looking for ways to make extra money, however bad her ideas might be. But at least she's trying. All the while, Brandan's just waking up late playing games on his phone. He's almost sulking about the fact that they're having a baby. A baby that isn't an accident, it's not a mistake, a baby they planned for. So why then isn't he working? Why hasn't he been more active in seeking employment?
Since I'm not a citizen of the Philippines, I can't work legally. If we were to get married, do you think I could get a job as a resident or a citizen?
What a beautifully romantic reason to get married. Is it logical? Well, yes. But it's also sad to see two people who should be in the honeymoon stage of their relationship find themselves in such dire straits that instead of love, their primary motivation for marriage is money. But I guess you could also debate whether they've ever had love in the first place. Is this relationship built on love, or is it a trauma bond? Is it just a continuation of the tragedy that came before it?
I'm getting cold feet all of a sudden.
This is unbearable to watch. They've just had a very serious conversation about how much debt they're in. It's pouring outside, it's grey, it's miserable, the whole mood is low. Brandan's only just brought up how if they got married, he could get a better paying job. Like, they've only just discussed this. So now, in the spur of the moment, with zero planning it seems, Brandan leads Mary to the back room of their failing business to propose, next to the detergent, while also mentioning cold feet. It's not exactly peak romance, hardly the proposal of every girl's dreams.
I don't know how else to say this other than to just, kind of show you.
Yeah, it's not exactly ideal, is it? But then again, nothing about these two is ideal. Brandan really seems to be going for a slump right now. But maybe we should be cutting him some slack. As tragic as this proposal is, he was the one that scrimped and saved for 2 years. He was the one that worked his butt off to single-handedly pay for the house that they all live in. The problem is, Mary is clearly unimpressed with this proposal.
Will you marry me, Mary?
Oh gosh, just look at Mary's face. Somehow she looks angry, disgusted and disappointed all at the same time. This might not be the fairy tale proposal that she was hoping for, but many would argue it's the proposal that she deserves. It's what you get when you emotionally abuse your partner and take advantage of them. Sorry, Mary.
I'm sorry, this probably wasn't the best of times to bring this up. I didn't really put a lot of thought into this.
Okay, look, Brandan, you need to stop digging yourself a deeper hole, because you're saying all the wrong things. The man's in the pits of a depressive episode. He's in a foreign country, and his only support is a person like Mary. So yeah, it really does feel like he's desperately trying to do something that might make him feel good. But this is feeling not so good right now, because Mary still hasn't responded to him.
My mind still stressing over the debt, and he's not helping me with the chores. I don't know what to say. It's like, this is not the right time.
But wait, there's more. Brandan's not yet done digging himself into that hole. It's as if he's assessed the situation and thought to himself, you know what this needs? Let me just add another reason to make Mary feel unspecial at this moment.
I don't know your ring size, but it says on there, why don't you read it?
I am enough.
Look, I get what Brandan's done. He's referring to Mary's constant feeling of inadequacy, and it was supposed to be a thoughtful, touching gesture. But in this current context, it just feels so wrong. Mary's pissed at Brandan for not doing enough. So to be given a ring that tells her she's enough, this almost couldn't have gone worse.
You are enough, and I want you to wear it.
Right now?
Yeah.
It's not gonna fit though.
Mary is coming across a little ungrateful, but to be fair, this proposal has to be one of the worst I've ever seen. Just look at the ring that Brandan got. In what world did he think that that would fit Mary's finger? And the problem is, the pair don't exactly have the spare cash lying around to get it resized. So after Brandan apologises for how awkward he's made this, finally, Mary has an answer for him.
I don't expect it right now because we're stressing so much. But yeah, I will marry you. I love you, so.
She said yes, finally, but she does add a caveat to that. She tells Brandan, I will marry you, but only when we're ready.
When we're ready.
It's left Brandan shocked and a little confused. So why is she putting the brakes on this?
Marriage is not like a joke. We're not kids anymore. Soon we will have a family, so we need to be mature enough.
The irony doesn't escape me that it's Mary lecturing Brandan about maturity. Come on, where was that maturity when you planned a kid? Where was that maturity when you freaked out over the fact that he sat next to a random woman on the plane? Come on, Mary, you're hardly the woman to talk about maturity. So let's cut the crap. It's not about maturity. Tell us the real cause of your hesitancy.
I'm always watching a movie and girls having a great marriage, and then he will just propose to me
Ah, there we go. It's all about the proposal. She feels like she deserves a Hollywood proposal. Now, to be fair to her, I don't know why Brandan chose that time and that place. Sure, Mary's certainly not a Hollywood princess, but at the same time, she is the mother of his unborn baby. So what Brandan's just done has left Mary feeling like she's not special, and that has left her feeling like they're not yet ready to get married.
I'm just saying yes because I need to, and I don't want him to be hurt or anything, so I just say yes.
Well, this hasn't exactly gone to plan, has it? It's kind of hard to understand why Mary has so many misgivings about getting married, when clearly she had no misgivings about getting pregnant. But I don't think I'll ever truly understand what goes on in Mary's mind. Regardless, their troubles are only just starting, because with a baby on the way, debt, and a business that isn't making them any profit, you get the feeling things might be about to get a whole lot worse.